Welcome and thank you for watching this week's episode with the Real Talks with Doc. And if you find that this content is adding value to your real estate experience, please subscribe. Another great episode. Kay, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm great, man. I had to memorize that script, y'all. So every one of these, I'm gonna be opening up with that. So hopefully I did good. I had 30 seconds on the fly to memorize that. But let's go, Kay. I'm feeling good this morning.
All right, today we're going to be talking about custom home builds versus purchasing a home, making the right choice. What advice would you give?
So if you can build it the way you want it, with the flow, the functionality that you and your family will love every time you walk through the door of your place of sanctuary, build it. A lot of people do not realize that the home building process is just as easy as purchasing a resale. And reason being is that the only difference between one and the other, both got to be built by somebody, right? The only difference really is that the resale is readily available within a 30-day turnaround on average. I mean, by the time you put the house under contract, you ratify, you go through the process of getting through underwriting, making sure the bank's sending an appraiser out there to make sure the property appraises, making sure the potential buyer has an opportunity to do the home inspection to make sure there's no funny business going on with the home. That takes about 30 days, right? However, if you think about the timing and how do you execute this so that it's not a big disruption of your life and your living conditions, which a lot of people kind of find to be a disadvantage, is that you can time it, you can plan it well, right? Like if you're currently in a home and you know that your family needs to upsize to a larger home for more space and more amenities, then you can time all of that. So the timing of when you actually transition out of your home and selling it, doing a rent back while your house is built, structuring all of that with someone who's very knowledgeable to make sure that it's a seamless and fluid process becomes a greater experience and does not become as daunting as you think in the new build home process.
Okay, so what are some advantages of purchasing a home?
Some advantages of purchasing a home is that I can go out and pretty much be in this house in 30 days if I need to buy a new home. That's one advantage. That's it. And compared to the, building your dream home, your new build home, I mean, that's it. Like literally, I can literally put a contract on it, then 30 days I'm moving into that resale home. Unlike a new build, there's a process that I'm sure Kay is going to lead me right into so that you can understand the build process, understand that it's not as complicated as you may think.
All right, so before we get there though, what are some drawbacks of purchasing a home?
Drawbacks of purchasing a home is that there's always going to be something in the home that you do not like. Case in point, I am very honored and privileged that I'll be building the home of one of my alpha brothers, new build construction, and his wife. They're actually building right here in DC, so y'all stay tuned as we get ready to break ground in that. So if they were to purchase a resale home, Ebony is real big on these huge, massive walk-in closets. I mean, you got to see a walk-in closet. Like half her bedroom probably isn't walk-in closets, right? That's her thing, right? Very fashionable. Not mad at it. You're not going to find oversized closets like that in a resale. You're just not going to do it because when builders build, they build to the masses. They build that if I build this home, a majority of people are going to like it. It's right there in the middle of the road where we can make our money, close this subdivision out and go and build another one. In the custom build process, however, you get to design your house the exact way you want it. So I'm only talking about Eric and Ebony because literally you all will see a testimony from them. And we literally just closed on the land on, what was that, Monday, Kay? Yeah, Monday. Monday we just closed on the land literally 2 days ago. And unique things they have in their home, for instance, the kitchen island is an oversized kitchen island. They have a rooftop deck that comes off of the second floor that literally faces the Washington Monument. So when you see fireworks during the 4th of July, like across the entire top of their roof, you have this rooftop deck that literally I can see the Washington Monument from their rooftop deck. And it's just going to be a beautiful 4th of July. I can't wait till next 4th of July. This house should be built by then. I am going to be there. I already told them they better not have a cookout without inviting me, because it's just a beautiful thing to be able to do. Now, if they were, going into a community and buying that house, no one has a rooftop deck that goes across the top back half of the house in any resale home that they're going to find in the entire market. Single family at that. Now, you may find penthouses for this, but this is a single family home that they're adding this level of customization and detail to. That just makes for a great home that they're going to enjoy for many years to come. Friends, family, fraternity, brothers. It's just going to be a great added feature for them to be able to do that on their roof. Yes, their roof.
So introduce us to our custom home build service.
So first and foremost, what we do is we do a consultation, a complimentary consultation. And the biggest thing that we're really targeting is your budget, right? This is going to be $1 million+ home that we're building for them. And that includes the acquisition of the land in addition to your build costs. We forged a great relationship with Jessica Perry at Sandy Springs Bank, where they're one of the few banks that will do a construction perm loan. Now, I know you probably have no idea what that means, but what that means in plain layman's terms is that they will not only fund your construction loan up front, but they will also put you into a mortgage up front. So you'll understand, and you can lock in at an interest rate that once that house is built, you're not worried about getting out of the construction loan and converting to a permanent 30 fixed loan. Like, they package all of that for you on the front end, which makes for a great process, because you know all your numbers from the start. So we sit down and we talk about that. We talk about what that budget is. We talk about how big they want the house to be. We talk about the amenities that they want in the house. They talk about whether we're going to target neighborhoods that are tearing down like old homes that can sometimes be as old as homes that were built in 1906. Homes like that old. There are homes that old in DC. Or if we're just going to look at lots that are ready to be built that may have utility services already running to them, water, sewer lines, things of that nature, because that also impact costs if you have to bring all of those things in from the street. Or if you don't even have access to sewer and you got to do a septic. So we talk about all of that and what that means, so we can start to get an idea around what they are envisioning as far as building this dream home. And yet, I don't care if you build a 2,000 square foot home. If you're building your custom home, that's something you have to have dreamt, and you're ready for us to build it for you. So we go through all of those things: budget, community, location, amenities, and timing, right? Like, how soon do you want to start building this new home? What is your current condition? Are you renting right now? Are you currently in a home that you're owning and you're actually, increasing the size of the home to expand family? I mean, we talk about all of those things. We even talk about in function of the home. Like, is this going to be a home you're going to pass on to your kids? Or if this is a home you're going to enjoy for the next 3 to 5 years or 5 to 10 years, what is that time frame? And then what is the disposition that you will find yourself in when it's time to move on to whatever the next home is? And some clients will say, yeah, Doc, we just want to build a really nice home, but in 3 to 5 years, we look at this as an investment. We're going to cash out and move on. Well, we're going to talk about some things that you may not want to do and kind of reconsider, so you're not going all out in terms of just having a unique product that may not be so unique and appealing to others if you're going to sell it in 3 to 5 years. If you're going to keep it, pass it on to the kids, I believe in building that generational wealth, then we say go all out, make this house exactly like you want it with no limitations, because that's a different conversation. So once we get through that conversation, it's going to be one of three things. It's going to be a go, it's going to be a no, or it's going to be, yeah, we can do this, but we have to go home and talk about some things, and then we're going to get back to you because we're ready to move forward. So those are the three positions. Clients literally leave this office with having in mind a go, a no, or yeah, we're ready to go, but we just got to talk about some things and solidify some things so we can put a plan of execution in place. So once we do that, we put a plan in place, and the plan consists of 3 parts. It consists of the brainstorming part, which architects will call your schematic phase. You're sketching things out, sketching different floor plans, seeing how things look, seeing how things flow, getting the size of the house right, because you can do a build cost per square foot to kind of stay in the price range that you want to stay in. So that's the brainstorming. Let's take our dreams, our ideas, and put it on paper and see what this thing looks like. And then we actually move to a true architectural phase where we then turn this over to the architect. And the architect then creates a final set of schematic drawings to move to a full set of construction drawings. And once we hand that over to the architect, it's now like, you know, we've done the homework, we've done the heavy lifting, we created this home, and we created what we want the elevations to look like and the interior floor plans, right? We then turn that over to the architect, and then the architect takes us to the home stretch of getting the building permit with an approved set of stamp plans, right? So that's phase 2. Once the architect gives us the building permit, it's all go then. Phase 3, it's time to build this thing. We build a beautiful home. The owners are fully immersed and engaged in the entire process, and they're just waiting to take delivery of the home. We give them the keys, and another happy client who has built their custom home. So everybody, send some positive energy to Ebony and Eric as they get ready to go through this journey of building a new custom built home at about 3,800 square feet above ground with a fully finished basement 2-car garage here in your nation's capital.
All right, so some of us want to know, is it best to buy land with a house already on it, or is it best to just buy an empty lot?
That's a great question. And the answer to that is, it depends. It really depends, right? You can buy a house, you can buy a lot with a house on it, and it may make sense based on the location. The numbers could play out just the same. So that's why it's like that part of it, you really want to have somebody who's well versed in what land should cost versus build cost versus once you build it, will it appraise for the bank to finance it, especially if you're not paying all cash. And even if you are paying all cash, you don't want to overbuild and overpay for a house that's negative by the time you finish it, right? So it just all depends. And location is a big driving factor of that. The number one driving factor of that is, where is this land located, with this house on it or not?
So what is the benefit of you being a general contractor to this process?
Well, wow, I like that question. And I don't want to sound cheesy saying this, but my clients get the benefit of having the best of both worlds. A well-versed real estate agent broker who knows real estate, who knows what things should cost, who knows how to go in and be that bulldog negotiator to get them the best deal possible, and then also merging that with a well-versed, knowledgeable general contractor who also understands construction, and not only just a knowledgeable general contractor, as well as a knowledgeable real estate broker, but we're licensed in Maryland, DC, and Virginia. Real estate license, Maryland, DC, and Virginia. General contractor, Class A license, Maryland, DC, and Virginia. So we know all three markets very well, and we can bring the two together and have a very seamless flow for our clients, helping them find the land. And not only helping them find the land, but giving them real-time data for them to analyze in terms of how these numbers have to make sense for them, because it's an investment. So our clients find that to be very, 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 very valuable to them in this process as they move forward with building a new home.
Many of your followers want to know, would you get contract or a license to build in Florida or Texas or anywhere outside of the DMV in the near future?
So here's the thing, we do consulting across the country.
Hi there. It's currently 7:30 a.m. with a
So that means my project manager was just calling. You heard it ring. That's her calling before 7:30, because we had these 3-day critical point check-ins to go through all of our projects to make sure we don't have any issues, and all of them are on schedule and on time. So please pardon that slight interruption. But yes, I have only to take the test in Florida to get my license there. However, the answer to that question is, I don't have to be a licensed licensed general contractor in all 50 states to provide these excellent services. What we have done in the past, mainly in South Carolina, Florida, and what other state have we been? New York. In those 3 states, we come in as a general contractor consultant, and we pair up with the local general contractor that we give them our system, our processes, and they follow that with us hand in hand. Every day we're checking in. Once a week I'm at those sites at minimum. And it again just makes for a beautiful process. One of the things that we pride ourselves on is to make sure that everything is systematized all the way throughout, where clients are in the know, they feel good about the experience, they're excited about the experience, leading all the way up until we turn over the keys to their new house. And we can do that in all 50 states, including Puerto Rico, with no problems at all.
All right, so now closing out, but not yet, with the real estate portion. What are some homes that you currently have on the market from your real estate side of business that can be purchased?
So 3215 Oak Street is a beautiful single family home at about 3,700 square feet above grade, 2-car garage, huge driveway, basketball court, rear deck, sits on about a half an acre lot, a little over a half an acre. That is coming to the market in 2 weeks, and is coming to the market at $799,999. And if you give me an extra dollar to get to $800,000, I'm going to give you $25,000 in builder closing help to help offset some of those closing costs. So that is a great property. Kay is going to have some awesome video footage for that coming up. Gas fireplaces throughout, stone facades, true hardwood floor, coffer ceilings. I mean, we're really proud of that home that we're getting ready to put on the market.
All right, awesome. So close us out with some words of wisdom.
Oh, words of wisdom from this little peanut head. Wow. So this week, Kay is our marketing manager and is doing a phenomenal job. This is the person responsible for editing all of this video content, putting the little words at the bottom of the screen with the names, and like all that stuff is cool, man. I mean, you see it on TV, but it's even more impressive to see her do it actually in real time in our office. Like, her stuff looks like the stuff on TV, so it's pretty cool. So everybody, give it up for Cassandra. She keeps this great content coming to you guys. And matter of fact, give it up to you, because y'all be sending me some great DMs. I love that stuff. Y'all be sending some great questions. I mean, people even called me from across the country. I had a lady call me all the way from North Carolina asking could we help her church finish building a church because they got into it with a really bad contractor. And I gave them some advice and some things to say to the contractor, because my job is not to come in and just make things chaotic or be in a chaotic situation. My job is to make sure that you simply have an elite experience in this process. So I told them some things to say to the general contractor, because you don't want to go in there and get in people's mess. They were able to use some of the language that I asked the general contractor to, do an addendum to the contract and make sure that they can hold them even more accountable. Because look, man, sometimes things happen with contractors. All contractors, words of wisdom, this is great. Look, that led me into what I want to talk about today. Let me give a disclaimer. I'm never going to give excuses for bad contractors or bad work. So understand where I'm going with that. Clients do not understand the things that contractors go through. For instance, working with the government can be one of the most challenging things because you have so many different layers and systems, and everybody's isolated and segmented so that there's no corruption. I get it, right? But you can be waiting on the government to pay you 6 figures in money, and that can truly damage your cash flow. It can really mess up with your cash. So imagine you have fronted all of this labor, you fronted all of this material, and the government owes you $250,000. That you got to put that money out there for them to reimburse you. And now they haven't paid you in over a month, and your timing is off, right? If you're going to be in this business, one of the things that I've learned the hard way is that you got to always have a cash reserve, at least 50% to cover. Number one, always make sure you make your payroll, because your workers got to be paid. Everybody should be paid on time, so work very hard to do that. But number two, make sure that one draw or one major draw doesn't cause other projects to come to a halt, right? So when owners get in these situations where a general contractor may not have shown up for 2 or 3 days, I would say just simply talk to that general contractor, because they go through a lot. We go through a lot. Sometimes look, there's been times I finished jobs for clients and we're talking $30,000, $40,000 last payment. And they say, well, you know, we kind of ran tight at the end. Can you cash this in 30 days? Job is done. Work is done. Everybody's been paid. Material is paid. They got their full renovation. And you got to wait 30 days. And here's the kicker. 30 days come. They thought they were going to have some money that they were going to be able to pull over from a 401k or whatever, a retirement IRA or whatever. And they can't do it. So now 30 days turn to 45 days, right? And now imagine if you have 2 to 3 situations, government paying late, client postponing payment. You have 2 or 3 situations that hit you at one time like that, especially if you're doing volume. Contractors go through these things. I actually have a contractor that I wouldn't call mentoring, but he calls me from time to time for advice on how to deal with things. And it's good for me to have these conversations because it keeps me consciously aware that, hey, you know, you make sure you're always thinking about these things. So when you are vetting a contractor, here's the words of wisdom. Number 1, vet them thoroughly. Ask tough questions. Don't be afraid or don't be reserved in asking your tough questions, because at the end of the day, this is your hard-earned money, and we have a fiduciary responsibility and obligation to give you the highest level of elite services, to have an elite experience as much as possible, period. You deserve that from any and every contract, including us. So what are some tough questions you can ask? How many projects do you have going on? Can we come see those projects that are very similar to the work that you're going to do for us that you have going on right now? Check their reviews, check their website, check their references, right? Like, ask these tough questions. And if contractors push back, or they start to get uneasy, or to look like things are becoming unnerving, that probably is not the contractor for you. Now, if a contractor say, I got 4 projects going on right now, we got a big problem because we had a massive flood, you know, the sump pump didn't work in the system, so we are having to scramble for that. Like, if they can honestly talk, because no project is a perfect project. Let's get that straight. And no contractor can tell you that he's done every project with no problem, because that would be a lie. It just doesn't happen. That's the beauty about construction. You know, you just don't know what you're going to get, but you deal with those problems from experience. You deal with those problems by having the right people on the team. And you deal with those problems in collaboration to everybody that's involved, so that, again, that project ends up being a great project. So ask those tough questions, period. It's your right. It's your responsibility, so that, again, you have an elite experience when building your new home or doing any level of renovation or construction. So those are my words of wisdom for today. Again, thank you for joining us with this episode of the Real Talks with Doc. Again, if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe, like our page, go to our website, and call me, DM me if you ever have any questions. Till next time, I'll see you at the next construction site.